All right, welcome back. First off, I'm going to sound a little bit rough because I have something. I don't know if it's COVID because you can't get a test kit, but I'm fine. Otherwise, it's just I'm sick. Maybe my daughter brought it back from daycare. Who knows? But anyway, quite a year for sure this year in collecting whatever you're into. And what I have here are just a few cards and comics that I picked up, some collecting highlights in no particular order. First up, I grabbed the Juan Soto Sapphire this year from 2019 Topps, and the reason being it's his first Sapphire card. It's a rookie cup card, not his rookie card, but a nice card nonetheless. And I don't know what the print run is on this, but probably the print runs on the Sapphires are creeping up and up, I'm sure. But still relatively limited compared to say his his base cards and whatnot, of course. So got some vintage too. This is a 54 Topps Willy Mays. This was an early in the year pickup, I think. Before I want to say the first 6 weeks of the year things were kind of okay, and then by mid-February it just got nuts. And this was, I think, during the first 6 weeks of this year. This 54 Topps Mays, really nice in a 6, and I hear a lot of people mention May's stuff as undervalued, and probably correct in that assessment. Nice copy there. In the comic book space, I picked up I might have mentioned this in the video that I picked it up in, or maybe my top 25 video, but maybe the most important book of the last 10 years, arguably, Ultimate Fallout #4, featuring the first appearance of Miles Morales as Spider-Man. And although I did not see the movie yet, I believe he's alluded to by Jamie Foxx's character, Electro. So Miles Morales is in some other multiverse thing. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see him on the big screen in the MCU. It'd be pretty cool to kind of go that route in another iteration of Spider-Man. So Ultimate Fallout #4. And I think of all the things that I picked up this year, this might be the one that outperformed on paper, and that when I bought it at the absolute lowest point, and it has since taken off. So I think I was into this one for right at $1,500, and then it got really crazy. I think it was up, in the 3 to 4 range, but now it's just settling under 3-ish. I think it might have got a little bit of a bump because of the chatter about Miles Morales, maybe in the multiverse, but. Anyway, moving on. This is one of two Clementes that I got this year. This is a 62 Topps in a 7. Here's a card that was one of the ones that when I got back into buying cards, I thought it was a good time. Turns out if I waited, I could have got an even better price. It's the Rice Rookie in an 8.5. And I was watching one of Elite Co's videos. I think it was post-national recap. He had picked this up. He said, I think the value he quoted was like half of what I got this for. But this is now settled into probably around, a good 35% to 40% less than what I paid for it. So maybe May was a little too early, but still a nice card nonetheless. And all right, so here's an interesting card. This is a basketball card. I bought it pre-explosion. It exploded, and then now I think it's right back to the price point where I bought it at. It's the 75 Topps Kareem PSA 8, and this one ran around, I think, $800, and then it went up to like 2,000, somewhere in that range. And when I was doing some price updating, I noticed that this had settled back down to right about the price where I bought it at. So around $800 for a PSA 8 Kareem. Really nice card, and the significance of that is his first card in a Lakers uniform, and that's what drew me to that card because I'm a Lakers guy. So, all right, let's add a comic here to the mix. I have, what's this? Oh, Amazing Spider-Man #300 and a 9.6. Now, like the Kareem, this book, I bought it for X amount of dollars. It more than doubled at one point, and now it's settled back in around not much more than what I paid for it. This is the first appearance of Venom, and it's a key book. 9.6 because 9.8s were, and they still are. I think at the time I bought this, 9.8s were about $4 to $5 grand, and I wasn't comfortable with that. So I wanted to have a really nice copy. So I got the second best thing. I got a 9.6, and yeah, happy to have that in the collection for sure. And oh, actually, here is the other Clemente, 67 tops, PSA 8. So apparently, when I bought this, prices were still somewhat reasonable, and here it is, really nice card. And an 8. I dabbled for the first time ever into hockey cards this year, so I got two of the best players ever. First up, you know, the rookie I'm priced out of, so I picked up a second-year O-Pee-Chee Gretzky in a PSA 8. So I was considering either Topps PSA 9 or O-Pee-Chee 8, and I went with the O-Pee-Chee. I figured it's a little more rarer, and you know, another one of those cards that probably is a little bit lower price now, or maybe about the same from when I bought it. Okay, up next is the Lemieux Rookie that I got in a Topps 9. Again, I was looking at O-Pee-Chee 8, Topps 9, and this one just looked the best to me. Really nice. So my first two hockey cards in my collection, Gretzky and Lemieux, certainly two of the all-time greats, without a doubt. On to comics. I picked up a copy of Nick's number 3, which is the first appearance of Laura Kinney. And Laura Kinney is the female Wolverine. And without a doubt, we will see her, I think, in the MCU at some point. So I wanted to jump on before it got too crazy. And this one has gone up a little bit. Like a lot of things, it went way up, then it came back down. But it's still a little higher than when I jumped in on it. So glad to kind of knock this one out. Cross it off my list of key books. So Nick's number 3. And these next two books I have here, I'll show this one. These were self-submitted. So I joined CGC comic grading this year. And this was one of my submission books. It's The Amazing Spider-Man 238, first appearance of the Hobgoblin. And this one earned a 9.6. So none of the books I sent off to CGC were pressed ahead of time, which, you know, it oftentimes you'll see a better grade as a result. Sometimes not so much, but I figured I would just, you know, I don't want to wait an extra. At the time, the turnarounds were excessive. They're ridiculous now. I think they're 3 times as long. I went and looked the other day, but if you got books pressed, then it would take, you know, oh geez, like almost the too long, and I didn't want to wait for it. So anyway, I got a 9.6 on an unpressed book, which is pretty good for something I had kicking around in my collection for, you know, quite a few years. And who's to say that if I cracked it out and pressed it, I wouldn't get the 9.8, but I'm not going to play that game. And this does have the tattoos, which is important. Otherwise, I think it gets like the purple label or something like that if it doesn't include that insert. So, and this other comic book is, I just like this one. I may go for a 9.8 someday, but it's Heir to the Empire number 1 I submitted. And I like this because it's the first appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn, also Mara Jade, who, you know, in the expanded universe at the time, you know, married Luke and they had a kid, but all that stuff is no longer canon, so who knows how they're going to spin it. But I think we are going to see Mara Jade, and I think there's already been a reference to Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Mandalorian last year. So Thrawn is just a badass character, and I think he'll become real popular when more people are made aware of him. Also, another first this year, a couple of cards that aren't graded by PSA. The first up with is Ted Williams. And I showed this in a video recently with Silver Jackify. By the way, that video we just did, the lighting, you know, I'm not sunburned at all. I mean, could be further from being sunburned, but the lighting and I think maybe the camera made me look like a crispy lobster in that video. But anyway, I did show this, and it's a BVG4, as you could see. But I'm going to crack it out at some point when the turnaround times become a little more tolerable with PSA and submit it. And, you know, I'm managing my expectations and thinking, okay, I'll be happy with a 2.5, 3-ish, right? Because I think, you know, the common thinking is, well, you're going to go down a grade if you go from BVG to PSA. But you never know. The card looks really nice, and maybe it is still a 4 in a PSA slab. But, again, regardless of what the grade is, I just want it in a PSA slab. like the rest of my vintage cards. And here is one of the bigger pickups of the year. Definitely an overpay. And I put a premium on the centering. It's my Unitas rookie from 57 Tops and a 6.5. And I would also like to add the Bart Star rookie from this year at some point. Maybe in a matching 6.5 grade. But they're hard to tell or hard to find because, I don't know, there's not a lot of half grades out there. Mostly just the whole 6 or 7 or whatever, you know. And then also this year, I went with CSG. You know, I got a couple of slabs here. The Anthony Volpe Bowman Chrome refractor numbered to 499 in the 9.5 grade. And then Atlee Rushman picked up recently, also in a 9.5 grade. Just came out that he is the #1 prospect in baseball, which is pretty cool. And most likely we'll see him this year. And hopefully he starts the season. The Orioles need a catcher, but I'm not sure when the CBA, when they redo that, if they're going to get rid of that with having to keep the player in the minors until like May, whatever, so he gets an extra year of control or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? So I can't stand when I understand it from a business standpoint, but from a fan standpoint, it sucks. Anyway, CSG 9.5s. And I've grown to like the CSG slab with the subgrades only. And so there's probably a few more of these in my future for sure. Because you know what? They're half the price of a PSA 10, maybe less. So if you're buying to collect, then it certainly is an outstanding value. And they're very strict, what I'm hearing. So therefore, you know you're getting a solid graded card. And it's not some sketchy, you know, it's not like a BC CG or something, you know, where it's a 9, but it's really like a PSA 6 kind of thing. So, and that really is it. In the background, I got this, you know, I exited the video game space, but I had to pick this up, this little Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. I thought it was a neat little collectible. So I don't really collect video game stuff anymore. But I bought this. I thought it was really cool. I'm not going to open it because if I want to play Legend of Zelda, I've got several other, you know, sources of being able to load that game up. So anyway, that's it. That is the year in review. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what next year brings. I guess we'll see. So anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.